All right, guys. So I'm going to share my thoughts on this whole situation. I'm reacting to a video. I'm probably going to jump around a little bit, but I'm still not sure yet. But I want to react to at least points from Shoe0nHead in her video, These People Are Sick. I've noticed a trend, and I'm still in the middle of trying to determine, like, how much of it is people, like, actually being confused. How much of it is people like virtue signaling or being afraid, so they're just lying? And of course, how much of it is just uh, hypocrisy and it's like a tribal thing where it's like, that's my side. That's uncalled for. But I've seen it all over the place. Like people just not understanding what is very basic shit. Now, sometimes it happens because people, as I always say, get emotional, and emotion causes you to distort reality. It happens regardless of whether you want it to or not. It's what emotion does. Um, my phone's distracting me. But let's go ahead and get this started at least, and I'll explain further.
On September 10th, Charlie Kirk was giving a talk at Utah Valley University, and out of nowhere, he was shot dead live in front of a bunch of college kids, in front of his wife and his 2 children. And I don't think the country is ever going to be the same, not only because of this horrific tragedy, but because of everything that followed. The dark, disturbing realization that we may not be on the same page as our coworkers, classmates, friends, neighbors, doctors, when it comes to the issue of murder. I was crashing out on Twitter a few days ago, just stream of consciousness posting about it with run on sentences and everything. 4 days later, I have a clearer head, but I still feel the exact same way.
You never had a clear head in the first place, and I'll explain. But with Shoe0nHead specifically, like again, these people and their views here have a range of what I think of as like causes, and it's hard to tell, especially with someone who's like a veteran influencer like Shoe0nHead. But from what I'm seeing, I believe that this is highly performative. I don't think this is real. I don't think this is actually what she thinks. Now we can go on all day. You can't get inside people's head, but I'm just telling you what I think.
So, we are going to talk about what happened, we're going to talk about the aftermath, and then we're going to get a little personal because, frankly, I don't see the country the same anymore, and I know a lot of you feel the exact same way. So, we're going to talk about it after we talk about everything else. Charlie Kirk was not a healthcare CEO. He was not a powerful politician. And let me be 100% clear, I'm not saying this to say that it's okay when those people are murdered. My point is that those are positions of power that most people cannot relate to. Like, the average person is just so far removed from that world. But I think what happened to Charlie is hitting differently because, like I said on Twitter, he was just a fucking guy.
Highly incorrect, and I think this is disingenuous. She knows better. She's not this stupid. Charlie Kirk may not have been like, there's different types of power. Like, of course, he wasn't like director of the FBI or president of the United States, but to claim that he doesn't have power is just flat out bullshit. The man influenced insane numbers of people, massive numbers of people. Influence is power. You can't separate the two. Influence is power.
He was a fucking podcaster. He was a guy who talked about politics. He was a guy who had conservative beliefs. Not everyone knows a billionaire CEO or a powerful politician, but they do know somebody with conservative beliefs. They know somebody who holds some or many of Charlie Kirk's opinions.
Now she's downplaying the things that he's done. She is an influencer that follows many of these topics. She's covered them for many, many years. She knows that she's just bullshitting right now. She's trying her best to act as if she doesn't know the actual truth about the man. She's like making it like he's just like any other conservative. I know plenty of conservatives. Like, I live in the South. I'm surrounded by conservatives. There are not that many people that are fucking as extreme as Charlie Kirk. At the very least, they won't just come out and say it, and that's for a very good reason. Let's stop pretending like he's just like your old, just like your dad or your uncle or some dude across the street, just, guy that posts conservative stuff on Facebook. Let's quit with that bullshit.
Because despite what people in their little bubble believe, his core ideology and what he believed is the same shit like your conservative boomer uncle on Facebook posts.
Incorrect. I just covered it.
You can only disagree with this if you are unfamiliar with Charlie Kirk or you are unfamiliar with the many different branches and different ideologies of the right wing.
Also incorrect. Now you essentially just made a statement that was incorrect on its face from anyone with an IQ above fucking 80. And then you tried to go, and if you disagree with this, it just means that you don't know anything about the man. Yet all of the evidence shows that you're full of shit. Like, it's hilarious. Let's continue.
Now, don't get me wrong, Charlie Kirk had many bad takes over the years. Like, for example, the two most popular quotes I see people posting are the one where he advocated for stoning gays and black women are too stupid to be pilots. But guess what? Both those things, the two most popular quotes people are posting to justify this guy being murdered, are out of context.
It is true that those two quotes keep getting taken out of context. He obviously still hated the people, but it is true that this is taken out of context and facts do matter. So, I mean, this is a valid point to make.
But idiots like Stephen King ran with it, then later had to apologize for spreading misinformation about a dead man.
It doesn't even matter if it's misinformation. People are losing their jobs and shit, even if everything they posted were his actual words.
People will build a straw man of you in their minds. They get so fucking mad about it that they celebrate the real you dying.
And the irony of this, and this is kind of why I wanted to go over this in the first place, the irony is that you are creating a straw man of the people that fucking had a problem with Charlie Kirk and aren't really having much of a hard time with his death. You are straw manning them, and you know it. Some people I can say, like, maybe they just got emotional and they can't think clearly. Not Shoe0nHead. She knows better. This is bullshit performative crap.
Horrifying. But more importantly, even if everything was in context, who cares? Oh, he said this. Oh, he said this. I don't care. There are many things he said that I disagree with. There are many things he said that I think are bad. Who cares? It is just a fact that nothing he said warranted his life being taken away. This is America. We have freedom of speech here.
This is the straw man part. So there are a couple of exceptions, of course. I'm not going to act like there aren't. But the vast majority of people who are making claims are essentially making the claim that I myself made. The world is a better place without Charlie Kirk in it, so I'm not going to lose any sleep. That's it. Now, let's unpack this a little bit so that stupid people can follow. On one hand, over here, you've got, it is okay to murder people in broad daylight because you disagree with them. That is what Shoe0nHead is trying to straw man as the claim that all of these people are making. Now let's look over here. This is, I am not bothered that a bad human being is no longer in this world. These are two extremely different claims. And it doesn't take a very smart person to realize this. You are purposefully straw manning people in their position in order to demonize them. And only morons have to do that. If you had a valid point, then you would actually use their position. You wouldn't need to change it. So I'm obviously just making assumptions here, but it really looks to me like, I don't know, she's worried about, I think that she's concerned. She's seen other people lose their, uh, get fired, have like, I don't know, threats and shit. And I think she just doesn't want to speak what she really believes. I could be wrong. Obviously, this is just speculation, but it's not just out of nowhere. It's speculation based on observation of her words in the past and how she is so different right now, and how she's also purposefully strawmanning people and not giving their actual positions. Let's continue. Oh,
unless you criticize a certain country, but for the most part, we have freedom of speech here. So after detaining not just one wrong guy, but two wrong guys, the FBI finally got the shooter, only because his own father turned him in. I guess they were just too fucking busy not releasing the Epstein files to catch a political assassin. It was this ass demon, Tyler Robinson, 22 years old, another irony-poisoned Reddit shooter who wrote a bunch of memes on the bullets, including "Hey fascist catch" and
"Notices bulges, capital OWO. What's this question mark?"
Build a website you love with Wix. For your words,
I fucking hate it here. A lot of people were saying that the shooter was a groiper, which is a far-right fan of the streamer Nick Fuentes, and I have no fucking idea where that came from. I'm gonna be so honest. I have seen no actual proof of this. And it doesn't make sense because someone further right than Charlie Kirk wouldn't call Charlie Kirk a fascist, and they wouldn't say he was hateful. Their proof is that the shooter once dressed up like the Slav squat meme from 2012, and they also found a separate meme of Pepe the Frog dressed like the Slav. Slav squat meme. Therefore, the shooter is a groiper. That is like seeing a photo of the shooter dressed like a clown, and then seeing this image of Pepe the Frog dressed like a clown, and then being like groiper confirmed. What is the connection? The shooter didn't even post the Pepe image. Like, where did the Pepe even come from? Just a bunch of liberal boomers. Not understanding memes. The other thing I saw was the shooter had Republican parents, and therefore the shooter must be Republican, which is just funny because we all see what these people say about their Republican parents every Thanksgiving. But I guess we'll see. It's September 14th when I am recording this, so maybe more things will come out. Editor to hear more things came out, definitely not a groiper. At the end of the day, he could have every single one of my or your opinions. it ultimately doesn't matter. One person may have pulled the trigger, but then we saw the reaction of many.
We think that Charlie Kirk just got shot in the neck. Hey, ooh, ah.
I'm not saying she deserved it, but I'm saying God's timing is always right.
Yo, they got Charlie Kirk, bro. I've never been happier.
Believe the reason I'm smiling. And it has nothing to do with Charlie Kirk. Nothing to do with.
I would say pour one out for Kirky Boy, but I don't waste good beer on little bitches.
Rest in peace, bozo!
Charlie Kirk just got put down like a fucking dog in Utah.
I do not, and I will not ever feel bad when bad people get what the fuck they deserve.
I just heard that someone shot Charlie Kirk.
Jesus. All right. I'm just going to have to fucking like not give a fuck about it being annoying that I light up. Because I mute myself for that reason. And then I keep fucking like forgetting to turn off the damn mute mic deal. And then I'm just talking and like it can't even be heard. So I don't even fucking know how far it went or how much of it. Yeah. But some of what she's covering, like a vast majority of this is exactly what I was talking about. You can tell by their words. Yes, they're happy that he's dead. That's not the same thing as fucking being like, yay, let's go murder people in the streets. Like, this isn't rocket science, people. So there are a couple, and I think the main one is a young lady that you'll see here in a moment, and that's obviously like an example of what Shoe0nHead is referring to, and obviously it's wrong. Obviously, like she's a little extreme. But all of the rest of these, you don't have a point. Like, all these people are showing is they have the intellectual capacity to recognize the difference between good and bad. And some people just don't have that. Or, well, there's and there's some people that are just fucking lying. Or they want to play like this fucking like they're everybody, like so many people were quiet for a long time. And then they try to get a gauge for how other people feel. And then they jump in and just choose whatever most people said. Or what people say that they think is the least likely to get them in some sort of trouble. Not what they actually believe. I've seen it numerous times. And you can tell because of how they'll be really fervent on an issue. And then all of a sudden, like their ideology, their beliefs completely flip, and then they're acting like all lives are equal. No, none of you believe that. That's stupid. Obviously, all lives are not equal. Like, it makes you sound good when you say it. It sounds like, man, that person's really a good person. But it's not real. You're fucking lying. I sincerely, there's like maybe 1% of the people claiming it, maybe, are like legitimate. They're like the ultra hippie type people that are like, life is precious. It's just life in general. And that like, there's no such thing as, or not there's no such thing, but even if they're evil, like they were brought to that point due to trauma, and all people are naturally good, and etc., etc. Most of you are not that person. You, generally speaking, when I say you, I'm talking to everyone, are fucking bullshitting, fucking virtue signaling pieces of shit. Let's continue.
Thoughts and prayers. Oh no, someone shot Charlie Kirk. Look, I don't know who needs to hear this today, but that's how you pick up a woman.
Homie dead. Fuck your homie dead. Fuck your homie dead. He got shot in the head. We got Charlie in the neck. We got Charlie in the neck.
Heard someone got shot today. I had a tummy ache this morning. Stay alive out there.
The sympathy for Charlie Kirk is weird. You don't have to like violence, but I'm confused as to how you thought the revolution was going to be magically bloodless.
I've been saying we need to bring back political assassinations. I don't feel bad, and I don't think that everyone deserves the right to free speech. I think some people should be afraid to express their opinion in public.
I didn't like what he said, and I didn't like his opinions, and I don't really give a shit that he's dead.
The best part of this whole goddamn thing is that he is not martyr material, so his death will mean nothing. It will activate no one. It will impact few. It's just great.
There are a lot of people that are like, no matter what side of politics you're on, you should never celebrate something bad happening to someone. I, on the other hand, do cheer when bad things happen to bad people.
Again, this is having fucking basic understanding of good and bad. And all of you people that think that you're above it because you're claiming, again, it's not true, but you're claiming, maybe you've even convinced yourself, but you're claiming it's a tragedy if any human being loses their life. That's bullshit. I've covered it before. If any of you think that it's okay on any level to take a human life, you do not believe that a life is a life. And almost all of you do. All but like that 1 fucking % that I described before. So you're fucking liars. If you think that it's okay to take out a pedophile, regardless of what they did, they may have actually touched your children. If you think that's okay, you do not think a life is a life. If you think it's okay for like people to be killed on death row for any reason, I don't care how heinous, it doesn't matter. You do not believe a life's a life. Even if you think it's okay to kill someone in self-defense, you do not think a life is a life. Stop virtue signaling and think logically. Please.
Charlie Kirk just got shot.
I saw the video before they even put out the confirmation. There was no chance that he made it through that. This wasn't the one we were hoping for, but a welcome surprise nonetheless.
I'm surprised that y'all didn't get rid of him sooner. And I'm surprised that you guys aren't getting rid of more people. Like, don't stop with him. Don't let him be the end dog. Get rid of them all. His wife deserves to go too. Y'all keep on talking about his wife and kids. They need to go too because they're carrying on that mentality and that lineage. Like, get rid of the whole family. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Why did you guys stop with him?
Now, that one is the one I was talking about where clearly, like, that's another level. Anyhow, let's continue.
For thousands of videos like that. Some of these people posting with their full names and faces, with hundreds and thousands of likes. Thousands of tweets celebrating it, with 500,000 likes. And it's important to remember that all of those likes are a real person. Millions of people in this country apparently believe the acceptable response to speech they don't like is murder. This wasn't just
Incorrect, and I covered that earlier.
a bunch of fringe blue hair SJWs or whatever. They were teachers, professors, doctors, HR workers, healthcare workers, nurses.
If you want to, people aren't going to like this. If you really want to gauge the primary difference, because you're looking at it through like vocation, that's the wrong lens in which to view it. Primarily, the people who were essentially, again, they weren't saying like go kill people in the street. They were saying that the world's a better place. Those people are the intelligent people. That's the primary lens in which to view this. Stupid people have a tendency to make complex things simplistic so it can fit in their head. So everything's black and white, which is what you're doing right now, Shoe0nHead. But you're an exception because you're not that stupid. You don't get to fucking like get off that easy. You're not a genius, but you're not a complete fucking moron either. You know better. You're fucking lying.
Versus pediatricians, people who work with kids, people's classmates, roommates. They are teachers showing our children the gory, horrifying video of Charlie's murder on repeat. The hippy dippy in this house we believe shitlib mask was ripped off, and underneath was nothing but psychopathic bloodlust. I have seen people on the right celebrate the death of people they disagree with. I've seen it. I remember Heather Heyer in 2017. But I also remember the whole internet, left and right, coming together to disavow and mock the few dozen people from Stormfront who were celebrating her death. This is different. It's never been like this before. It's never been this much. It's never been this brazen. Normal people have to log into like an alternate Twitter account where they can post their more unorthodox opinions. And these people are out here full face, full name, like hell yeah, murder.
No, they're not. You're fucking, oh. I was about to say you're an idiot, but she's really not. She's just a liar. And to some extent, it might be she's trying to get money. She realizes that she is more likely to get more positive feedback if she spews this bullshit out of her mouth. I don't give a fuck about that. I've never given a fuck about that. Well, not like it's not like a priority in any way. Telling the truth is the priority. And she is so fucking lying. I do not believe for a second that this is her actual views. I'm not even going to continue any further on this. She makes me fucking sick. At least in this particular video. But there is one more thing I wanted to jump into to kind of illustrate my point. Actual fucking science. One of the best ways to combat emotional retardation. All right, I'll include a link to both of these, but this right here is PMC, NCBI, and bleh. It's a peer-reviewed fucking article. You can't question the source. Like, this, you just can't. It's the fucking, like, it's the cream of the fucking crop. So, and again, I'll include the link to it. I've went to a specific point. So this entire deal is about findings of selective empathy based on targets' moral characteristics. And it applies to all people. Well, all people with the exception of like disorders. That's important because you have all of these people that go, oh, okay, yeah, well, that's how humans work. But I'm an exception. You can't be. This whole study proves it. What you're actually doing is lying. So I can't say for sure whether you're doing it on purpose or if you're lying to yourself and you think that you actually believe this shit, but either way, you're fucking lying. Well, you could argue that it's not considered lying if you don't know that it's incorrect. but you get my point. It's just not real. You cannot love everyone. You cannot have a belief that like it's irrelevant, like people's moral standing, even if that's subjective to a certain extent. You still believe that. It's how you're wired as a human being. You can't separate them. But you're trying to make the case that you do in order to virtue signal most of the time. So, why empathy is morally selective. The previous section has summarized findings of selective empathy based on targets' moral characteristics. In general, individuals tend to show less empathy toward immoral targets than toward moral targets. This section will consider why selective empathy is morally based from both ultimate and proximate perspectives, based on previous theories and models of selective empathy. The ultimate cause may be consistent with that of selective prosociality. On this view, the moral selectivity of empathy is the product of evolution and can increase survival rates at the individual and group levels. The proximate causes may be more diverse. Below, we summarize 5 different accounts of proximate causes: the perceived similarity account, the effective link account, the deservingness appraisal account, the dehumanization account, and the potential group membership account. Ultimate causes. Empathy entails both cognitive and emotional costs. When feeling empathic toward others, individuals experience a cognitive struggle and risk experiencing personal distress. Indiscriminate empathy might cause fatigue and or financial costs. The moral selectivity of empathy ensures that individuals spend more empathy-related resources on moral targets and less on immoral targets, which could increase the survival rates of both individuals and groups. For individuals, such selectivity is likely to prevent resources being wasted on undeserving persons and gives empathizers more opportunities to build reciprocal relationships with moral rather than immoral others who are less likely to reciprocate when the empathizers, geez, I'm getting ahead of myself, need help. The selectivity of empathy is broadly consistent with the approach avoidance tendency to approach rewarding and avoid threatening stimuli. For groups, the moral selectivity of empathy can promote an indirect reciprocity within a group by shaping targets' behaviors. More pro-social behaviors based on empathy directed at moral rather than immoral targets can encourage moral behaviors and discourage immoral behaviors by both targets and other observers. This can increase indirect reciprocity within a group. For example, C is more likely to empathize with A after learning that A is a daily helper. Then C will be more likely to help A even though C has not been directly helped by A before. After receiving positive feedback from C, A will also become more likely to continue helping others, including C. Such indirect reciprocal relationships can promote pro-sociality and cooperation within a group and further increase the survival rates of the whole group. In other words, selective empathy based on targets' moral characteristics serves as a signal of moral standards within a group. This also explains why individuals make more negative evaluations of people who empathize with negative targets, example, white supremacists, than people who empathize with positive targets, example, children's hospital worker. Empathizing with negative targets indicates tolerance of such behaviors. Overall, the moral selectivity of empathy could increase the survival rates of both individuals and groups, which may be its ultimate cause. I really love how it's so perfect. The examples that they use is the positive target, hospital worker, the negative target, white supremacist. How fucking fitting. Like, it's so great. Like, I don't have to be like I could use something and it'll be like, this is a negative target. And then people could go, well, obviously that's not the same as talking about Charlie Kirk. In this instance, you can't do that. Gotta love it. So again, I'm not going to read all of this. That was the important part, in my opinion, really the ultimate causes deal of why empathy is morally selective. And it's important. Empathy is fucking finite. Like basic neuroscience. Like you can't spread it across the whole world. You may feel like you can, and that's a positive thing, but it's not possible. Like I've said it before, people that believe, if you truly believe that you love everyone equally, meaning you don't like, even like family, significant other, whatever, children. If you believe that you love them and every other human being or even creature in the universe the exact same, then you do not understand what love is, because you can't. The actual definition, the purpose of love and empathy for that matter, and it's why I'm kind of talking about this because it relates. It's entirely based on that it can't be like, what's the word? It can't be spread out like infinitely. The fact that it's like in like limited supply is what gives the concept of love or empathy value in the first place. This is so basic. I don't understand how so many people can get it twisted. Like it's I'm gonna stop now. It fucking, like, how can people be this fucking naive and ignorant? And some, like I said, may not even, like, they probably know better. They're just, again, virtue signaling. They're such liars. So yeah, don't let people tell you that there's something immoral about you, that you call out evil for being evil. When someone dies, they don't magically become a good person. That's just not how it works. I don't care how badly you wish that were the case emotionally. If that would be like a fair world in your opinion or whatever, that's not reality. And people, like, if we start living in a world where what is good and what is bad has absolutely no import whatsoever, everything goes to shit. Everything. If you can't just straight up, like, this is more about what you believe than what you say, because they're two different things. And a lot of people are just lying, as I said, or lying to themselves sometimes. But if you believe that like, it doesn't matter that a human being is just terrible, that just spreads harm, wants other people hurt that have done absolutely nothing wrong, etc. If you believe that, the irony in these people claiming that you, and I'm talking about you people that have said that you don't really care that Charlie Kirk is dead. The irony is the people that are saying that, you are the bad people. You don't understand how anything works. You're so simplistic. Like, you are a huge piece of the reason why the world is fucking bad. Or at least, sorry, the bad that is in the world, not saying all of the world is bad, but the bad that is in the world is in large part due to you and the way you think. You don't realize it. I get it. And some of you have good intent. But this is why evil's terrible. Evil's something that we should all strive to fight against. And this is a topic that maybe we can get into on a live stream one day. It's an important topic in my opinion. But I am starting to believe that evil is not the most dangerous thing. The most dangerous thing is stupidity or ignorance. I'm honest. I'm just being honest. That's what I'm starting to believe. Because people can just, with absolute angelic attentions, destroy fucking everything due to being fucking morons. I'm not going to apologize for any of that because it's fucking true. Thank you for your time.